I have no idea if you can see me. Oh, I've had so many tech fails today, and I fear this may be another one because I can't see myself, which means I think, hey, I can see Alex and Karen, you're here. Can you see me? And can you hear me? Because hi, can you see me? Because I can only see a black screen. I've had so many. Can you just hit me up and say yes? This feels a little bit weird. I've got no idea what I look like. You can hear me. Yes. Okay, this is odd. So I'm literally probably going to be talking down to the right-hand side because I can't see myself at all. Tech has not been loving me. Right, I'm just going to get on with this. Can I just first of all say hi? This is quite an interesting experience actually because we go live loads and we feel really self-conscious, and now I can literally do anything I like and I can't see myself looking like a knob. Thank you, Severia. It is weird, but thank you. Well, I'm going to get on with this. I had a really beautiful revelation this morning as I was walking along the beach. I was listening to a guy called Billionaire PA, and he was being interviewed. And he's a guy who was arrested twice for kind of dealing drugs, and lived in his car, and now is on this mission to help 1 billion people. And he's written 5,000 quotes, which he put on t-shirts, and now that t-shirt business is something epic. And whilst I was listening to him, the interviewer asked a question about how do you go from living in your car to having a mission like serving 1 billion people. And he said, if your dreams aren't crazy enough, you're not thinking big enough. And it really reminded me of how I felt once I came back from Gozo. And I talked about my financial goal, which is big, for next year. And it didn't take me to the finances, but it took me to the people and how many people that I wanted to serve. And as I remembered the big goal, and I kind of play around with this number. It doesn't really matter what the specific number is, but for now, the number is 250,000 women. And as I started thinking about helping 250,000 women, so either through speaking, through books, through e-courses, but when I started thinking about that number, my whole physiology changed and my whole body changed. And in that moment, I realized that if I want to sell out my next mastermind, if I want to sell out my next retreat, if I want to sell out my next course, I need to stop thinking about the 5, the 6, the 4, the 8, the 10 people that are going to be on any of those individual courses, and think about the big goal. Because when I think about the big goal and the big number of people that I want to help, then immediately I elevate the way that I'm acting, the way that I'm showing up, the way that I am speaking, what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, and I'm much more intentional. And the ideas, the thoughts, and the feelings that come up when you're thinking about the next course, when I'm thinking about the next 10 people, the next 5 people, how am I going to get that person, or how am I going to get that person, all of that dissipates. All of that absolutely falls away when we step into the wider mission. And I know I'm going to particularly speak right at Severia for this, because you said the other day, you know, your ideal client is somebody with a big mission. And I was like, actually, my ideal client is somebody who implements. I love people who implement and get their stuff done. And actually, for me to work with 250,000 people, what that means is that I work with clients who implement, and then through my clients, I vicariously get to impact women right across the world. So yes, when I'm working with people on a private level, do I want you to have a big mission? Yeah, absolutely, because that feeds into the 250,000. But what I want to say to you and everybody who is looking to fill up your classes for next month, your classes for January, your classes for February, stop thinking about those classes in their individual nature, because the way that you act and the way that you show up is much more contracted when you're thinking in those very, very narrow silos. As soon as you start to widen it, you have to, your passion and your excitement for what you do has to widen to feel that capacity. And as soon as you start speaking from that level, you are going to draw in. You absolutely have to feel the smaller goals along the way, but you're acting in a much wider place. I'm really glad you're feeling this, Severia. I hope that we're all feeling it, but specifically for you, because I know that sometimes when you're feeling like, oh, I want to work with people on a local community level, and I'm not interested in saving the world in those big forms, that's absolutely fine, but it restricts you in the way that you engage with people. So I invite you to think big, go crazy with it, and then act in alignment with the bigger vision. Everything else will then fall into place. So that, my lovelies, this feels so weird. I literally just spoke to a black screen for 5 minutes. That's it for me. If you've got any questions, pop them in the box and I will answer them. Otherwise, I will say adios. But think big. I'll tell you the other inspiration actually for this is Elon Musk. And I know that he has literally just released the fastest electric car that goes something like 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds or whatever. And what inspires me about this crazy offbeat guy is that every single thing that he is doing, creating and bringing into the world, there are people saying it's not possible. You can't do that. You know, you're never going to be able to make an electric truck because the battery's going to be too big. And what does he do? You've got an electric truck. You're never going to be able to create a car that flies because, you know, that's science fiction. And what's he doing? He's playing around with cars that fly. Allow yourself to go beyond the realms of what is realistic for you, what sounds normal, what sounds, you know, what is kind of comfortably fits in that box. And then see how all of the stuff that does neatly fall into the box absolutely comes into play. And I just want you to be able to feel, rather than the contraction and the tightness that comes along with lack of people for the next course, but the bigness and expansive feeling that comes along with the big, big mission. You know, what is the first step for you when it comes to the big mission? Share that with your community. And it doesn't matter whether your community is 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, but just share the big vision with them and see how you start to enroll people on your journey. So yeah, that's it for me today. So Severia's just saying, I was dancing, singing in the kitchen about exactly that. Still about my community, but a bit bigger than until now. Perfect. Sandra, just in the right moment at the right time, as always. Love it. Wendy, awesome to hear this. I've been totally doing this over the last week, and as fucking scary as it feels incredible and is getting results. Yes, Wendy Woods. Love it. Right, you beauties. Have an amazing afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow in some way, shape, or form. Mwah. Adios. Oh, can I just say, 3rd place on the retreat has been sold today. Just putting it out there. Right, love you. Bye.